Welcome to Tracy Erin Talks, a podcast about all things health, wellness, mindset, and motherhood, my favorite topics. Well, and tacos. Let's talk about those too. Join me for an honest conversation as we muse and amuse ourselves, where nothing is off the table and what we're after is an exponential personal growth curve. Most days you'll find a really warm hug, and on some days, a swift kick in the reality pants. This is not a look at me, but a come with me conversation where we will take a real life look at health and wellness topics such as hormones, fatigue, mood swings, brain fog, toxicity, mold illness, the healing journey, and so much more. Mindset. It's a highly underutilized tool on any journey. Knowing that our inner world creates the environment of our outer world, we'll talk about what holds us back from living the lives we know we were meant to live. Motherhood will forever be my most profound and satisfying life's work. As a homeschooling mom of 5 kids, I've been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. I love chatting about the practicalities of managing a home, shepherding hearts, and how to create a family culture that you're proud of, and how not to lose yourself in the process. My mission is to transform women's lives by balancing their hormones so they can get out of survival mode and feel like themselves again. If you're looking for your new health BFF who has the curiosity to ask the big questions, the determination to find the answers, and the ability to find humor in it all, you are in the right place. Welcome back to the podcast, Tracy Erin Talks. I am your host, Tracy Erin, and today I am talking about my 90-day program, the Balanced Hormone Solution. I am giving you the exact method that I use to help women 35 plus balance their hormones so they can get out of survival mode and feel like themselves again. Sounds pretty awesome, right? I've been working with women for several years now, and I'm beginning to notice themes among them and their common experiences. This is a nice way to summarize where generally most of my clients are starting from. This is what they might say. I just want to feel normal and enjoy my life every day, but I'm overwhelmed with a roller coaster of mood swings, low energy, period problems, and monthly emotional rage that keeps me cycling in fear, shame, and loneliness. I haven't always felt this way, and I want my life back. There is a sense of desperation in that, right? There is a sense of, I don't want to do this anymore, and I don't quite know how to get out of this place. And this is how I could summarize what my clients might want to say. They want to say something like, I feel normal and I enjoy my life every single day. I'm no longer controlled by my low energy, my mood swings, and that monthly hormonal rage. I understand what my body's going through, and I know how to support it through normal hormonal fluctuations. I know how to eat, and I have the right habits in place to support that. I am thriving in my marriage and motherhood, and my life feels absolutely vibrant. Don't you love that energy that comes with that last saying of what my clients actually want? So when women tend to come to me, it's an interesting thing that I've observed, but a lot of women have always said, I need help with my hormones. I need my hormones to be balanced. My doctor says my hormones are out of whack, or worse, my doctor says my hormones are just fine. Anyway, hormones tends to be like a buzzword or on the top of women's minds. It's interesting, right? I mean, I think that there is a broader consciousness around hormones. And here's a couple reasons why I think that. Number one, women, we've been used to dealing with hormonal fluctuations since puberty, right? That's a long time. Number two, we feel the effects of hormones and these fluctuations on a monthly basis. So it's not like, oh, yeah, remember when we were 12, what that was like? It's like, just wait 3 weeks and we'll feel it again. And sometimes people feel the effects of hormonal fluctuations on a weekly basis or worse, on a daily basis. The other thing that I think increases the broader consciousness of hormones, why is it on the forefront of women's minds? Well, number 3, conventional medicine is quick to blame symptoms on hormones, right? Even though there's little help outside of medications to actually address or let alone solve the problem. And I think that's because number 4, it's an easy scapegoat. It's vague and it's just sort of easy to blame, right? I think women tend to end up with some conclusion along the point in their life. It must just be my hormones are imbalanced. And here's the thing, hormonal imbalance is a real thing for sure. And yet, I find that when we're talking about hormones, we need to open up this conversation to more than just the sex hormones. They get all the airtime, but there are other hormones that deserve our primary focus and attention. It's like this. Here's what women think it's hormones. And what they mean is it's estrogen and progesterone. And here's what I wish women knew it's hormones, but it's first and foremost cortisol and insulin. The thing is that sex hormones, the estrogen, progesterone, the DHEA, the testosterone, those are all classified as the sex hormones. But the thing is, they are downstream from the other two, the metabolic hormones of insulin, the stress hormones of cortisol. So the big takeaway here is that there are other hormones at play, and the system in which our body controls all of these hormones is called the HPA axis. It stands for the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. And when this feedback loop is not functioning optimally, we get the downstream issue of what we know as hormone imbalance. So, what do we do about this? Fixing that HPA axis has to start with those other two upstream hormones, cortisol and insulin. Without it, we have little chance to balance those downstream hormones, the sex hormones. And that is where I find a lot of the women in my practice have wasted time, money, and energy. So, if there is an issue in the body, we must always go to its root cause or look upstream, right? The effects are not generally how we're going to get a resolution. So, the thing is that I've done lots of functional medicine training, and this really is the consistent view that we have to start upstream with the adrenals in particular. If we do that, then the rest of our protocols, the rest of our healing happens in a way that makes more sense and is less time consuming, and which that translates to spending less money and energy on things like this. So, what about um, gut healing? Start with adrenals. What about whole body detoxification? Start with adrenals. So, this 90-day program, the Balanced Hormone Solution, it really came out of the years of my experience with women. It didn't matter so much what their diagnosis was or what their daily symptoms were. The best results came when I started them all at the same place, addressing the hormones of cortisol and insulin first and foremost. So, if we can address those upstream issues, the sex hormones, the ones that get all that airtime, those are much easier to balance with things like tweaking our lifestyle habits, nutraceuticals, nutrition, etc. So, inside my 90-day program, I have four pillars. And these four pillars, you can think of them like they are what is holding up the concept of balanced hormones at the top. Okay. And these four pillars all have to have a strong foundation, and they equally support the idea of balanced hormones within the body. So let's go over the four pillars of my program. The first one is functional testing and a personalized protocol. We've got to have bio-individuality. People are not the same. People, even if they're expressing a similar symptom, the root cause might be completely different. So, functional medicine testing allows us to get that personalized look so that I can see exactly what is contributing to your particular root cause, which may or may not be similar to another woman who's your age and even dealing with a similar symptom. The second pillar is transformational thinking. This is my personal favorite, actually. Transformational thinking, I would say, is the pillar that has made the most and the biggest impact in my personal life. I love to talk about the concepts of mindset and personal growth. I love to be stretched and I love to think in terms of possibilities and seeing the bigger picture and getting out of just like a small thinking mindset. So, with this pillar, transformational thinking, what we do inside the balanced hormone solution is really dig deep into your why you want the result that you want, why you want to feel better, lose weight, have stable moods. Like, what is really driving you? And then also to create that clear cut vision of your future self. And the reason why this is important is because we have to draw upon her in order to make any positive changes in our life. The thing is that what our brains like to do is to keep us safe and small in looking to our past. And when we pull from the past, we tend to repeat the same behaviors, which will in the end give us the same results. But if instead of looking to the past, we draw from the future, that is where a transformation is on its way. And that is one of the most exciting things that I get to see up close. The third pillar in the balanced hormone solution is lifestyle medicine. This is essential. As they say that health and wellness is 20% supplements and 80% lifestyle practices. I firmly believe that the habits that we have in our lives are driving the outcomes that we're getting. Now, let me just say here as a caveat, does that mean that we need to live perfect lives where we never mess up and we always do everything according to the book? Well, I certainly don't live like that, and I don't think that you need to either. I think that if we can have a lifestyle that promotes health and wellness that we do the majority of the time, then when we make let's say we veer off of the path here and there, then our body, its overall trajectory is still heading in a direction that makes sense and is promoting overall health and wellness. So that balance doesn't get off kilter just because you eat pizza once or you have one glass of wine. The issue comes in when all we do is eat pizza and drink wine, right? So it doesn't mean that we're aiming for perfection here, but it is still one of the four pillars that needs to be in place when we're looking to balance our hormones. The last pillar is detoxification. This is huge. Many people believe that the root cause of illness is toxicity. And when we think about toxicity, we're thinking about the things that our bodies have encountered that we are unable to get rid of, that our bodies are holding on to. So, detoxification is that process by which we release the things that are setting us up for illness. Things like environmental chemicals, molds, pathogens like Lyme, viruses, parasites. These types of things fill up to a measure in our bodies, which when spill over, end up giving us a tremendous amount of symptoms. So any program that's focused on hormone balancing must address detoxification for sure. So these are the four pillars: functional testing and personalized protocol, number one. Number two, transformational thinking. Number three, lifestyle medicine, and number 4, detoxification. These 4 pillars are what upholds what I call becoming beautifully balanced method. Now, within each pillar is education and action steps. But for now, I just want you to get the idea of a high level view of what makes my particular method unique. So let's talk about the words beautifully balanced. I chose those specifically because they're meaningful. They're deeply meaningful. I mean, what does it mean to be beautifully balanced, right? It just gives me a lovely image in my mind. But what if I described it this way? Can you picture the idea of going from crazy to confident, insecure to grounded, scattered to synchronized, right? When a woman is out of balance and experiencing these types of things, it's really distracting to herself, right? And she knows that deep inside something is off. She knows that she is not her best. She knows she isn't showing up in life the way that she wants to. But when a woman, contrast that with a woman who is in balance, she can express her true beauty. She radiates from the inside out. The book of Proverbs in the Bible refers to it as the woman who is smiling at her future, right? Deep down, she knows and feels that all is well. And when all is well on the inside, you can show up better to the outside world. I've seen women go from these extremes, from these befores to the afters, and it is truly a wonderful thing to watch this type of transformation. So let's look inside the Balanced Hormone Solution. Here's how I've got it set up. There are 6 educational modules plus a bonus module that addresses all kinds of things about what to do next and how to optimize and maintain your results. We start off with the Dutch Complete testing. I love that test for hormones. It's very accurate because it uses urine metabolites, unlike a blood sample that your conventional doctor will use. So we start off with that, and from there, you get a personalized protocol and you follow that for the 90 days. On top of that, all supplementation is included except for that which is specific to your hormone balancing protocol. So we've got multiple worksheets, action steps for implementation, because this is what I've found is that you're likely holding your phone in your hand or it's somewhere near you. You have a supercomputer within your reach. Knowledge is not why women are feeling the way that, or I should say, lack of knowledge is not why women are feeling the way that they're feeling, right? If we just needed to learn more things, we could learn more things. And yes, I think it's important to know the why behind what we're doing. However, I really believe that it's the accountability and the action steps. It's how we implement what we know that gives us the best, longest lasting results. So we have a community Facebook group, which is fantastic for moving along the journey with others, and it helps with not feeling so alone. We do bi-weekly coaching calls, and there's a private podcast for all the replays if you're unable to come to that original call. And at the end, there's an option for a retest to see the kind of progress that you made, and also in addition to that, continuing support. So, this is the exact method that I use to help women 35 plus balance their hormones so they can get out of survival mode and feel like themselves again. If this is something that you're needing in your life, if I said a couple things that poked a couple buttons in you, then let's connect. I'm starting a new cohort in early April, and I would love for you to join us. So remember, this is the exact plan that you need to cover foundations, regardless of your bigger diagnosis, right? Women say, well, I have thyroid. That's not really pertaining to me. Start with the Balanced Hormone Solution. Are you struggling with an autoimmune disorder, like multiple sclerosis or something else? Start with the Balanced Hormone Solution. What about chronic illnesses, stealth infections like Lyme disease or mold toxicity? This is exactly where you need to start for all of that too, the Balanced Hormone Solution. What about gut issues? Things like IBS, bloating, dysbiosis, or infections in the gut tract. The Balanced Hormone Solution is where we need to start. Weight gain? Yep, Hormone Solution. Period problems? I think you know the answer. I've got you covered in terms of whatever needs to come next. So don't forget, this is your starting point. On the next episodes, I'll dive deeper into each one of the pillars so that I can really flesh out for you how this works and how this brings about the result that you're looking for. Until next time. Thank you for joining me today on Tracy Erin Talks. I hope you found today's episode enriching to your life. If you enjoyed today's content, would you consider subscribing to the podcast and leaving a review? That simple act helps this podcast get into the hands and ears of many more women just like you. Remember, anything you want and do not yet have will require a new set of beliefs, thoughts, actions, and a new you. I am honored to be on this journey with you as we wholeheartedly pursue true health and wellness in mind, body, and soul.